The Sherrone Moore situation at Michigan is a classic example of why relationships between powerful leaders and staff are not just personal drama, they're risky situations, especially for workplace violence, sexual harassment, and retaliation claims. When a university fumbles rumors like this, it exposes the school and all the people involved to really dangerous situations. Let's talk about what's happening at the University of Michigan with former head football coach Sherrone Moore and what your employer should be doing in situations like that one. Michigan fired Moore for cause after an internal investigation found credible evidence that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member who worked in the athletic department. Within hours, he was also detained by police in connection with an alleged assault, and now there are reports that this was at least the third time the university looked into his conduct with women. Here's where the university went wrong and where they got it right. Reports say Michigan officials confronted Moore and the staffer over the summer about an alleged relationship, and both denied it. But he was allowed to keep coaching until much more damaging documentation came back later in the fall. By the time the school finally terminated him, there were rumors of a pregnancy, a big raise for the staffer, and 911 audio suggesting stalking and possible violence. All of that was swirling around while the university only gave the bare amount of information to the public. That kind of slow response undermines trust and makes any later Title IX or harassment investigation look reactive instead of proactive. Now, from a legal standpoint, relationships between a powerful coach and a subordinate staffer are not just consensual office romances. When there's a power imbalance, boss and direct report, or someone whose career depends on that coach, the law treats any of those sexual relationships as high risk because it can easily cross into a quid pro quo harassment or coercion. If the staffer later says, "I felt pressured, I couldn't say no, or I suffered after I ended it," that can support a sexual harassment or retaliation claim, and the university can be automatically liable because the harasser was a supervisor-level leader. First, treat the rumor as a potential policy and Title IX issue, not just gossip. That means opening a prompt, documented investigation, interviewing both people separately, preserving texts and emails, and talking to all the witnesses. Second, they should have separated their reporting lines. If there's even a possibility of a relationship, you don't leave the staffer in a position where their pay, schedule, or job security is controlled by the coach. Third, they should communicate clearly about standards. Michigan has policies that prohibit supervisor and subordinate relationships and claims to have zero tolerance. But if leaders keep their jobs after multiple investigations, juries and EEOC investigators might not believe that. If the staffer at the center of the relationship is later demoted, pushed out, or badmouthed after things end, that could be the basis for a retaliation claim. And the messy rumor mill makes the university look like it cared more about protecting the program than protecting its employees. And in cases like this one, where the individual becomes violent, the consequences could have become tragic. So here are the big takeaways for employees who see something like this when they're at work. You need to understand your employer's conflict of interest and anti-fraternization policies and how they protect you when a supervisor crosses the line. And if you are the person in the power imbalance, you need to document everything: text, emails, comments, changes in your pay or duties, and report concerns through written channels, not just verbal conversations. And if you're a witness, know that ignoring obvious favoritism or misconduct can allow the harm to spread. So you should raise your concerns early so you can trigger the investigation your employer is legally required to do. Now, when powerful leaders treat staff like part of their dating pool, it's not just a morals issue, it's a discrimination and harassment problem waiting to happen. And institutions that look the other way will be held accountable right alongside with them. I'm Kyra Fontenelle, and I'm a lawyer for working people. Hit the follow button for more information just like this.